Okay, and we are live again for the second time today. I really cannot believe how this is going. This whole conflict and how it's getting worse and worse and worse on a day by day basis. And they've especially accelerated it since Trump is about to come in less than a couple of months now. So they've started to accelerate it all. One thing before we get into what France and UK and everyone's talked about, I just can't believe that it's even legal for an outgoing president to authorize long range weapons that could get us into WW3. I really just can't believe that is even permitted, but there you go. It seems to be the case. So there's a few things that have taken place. Now, one of them to watch for is this British soldier, as they're calling him, British soldier that's being captured by Russia. And they're saying that, this is illegal and all this other stuff. A couple of things. Number one, he's actually a former British soldier. Um, Number two, he was fighting with Ukraine in Russia. Number two, he was in Russia, so he's been captured now. So there's a couple of things there. Now, let me read out what the Home Office have said. They said that this this man, this soldier, he is still a British soldier because he's on the reserve list. Because when you serve in the British Army, you go on the reserve list actually. So they're classing him as a non-active British soldier, which could designate him as a POW, which is a prisoner of war. So they're calling for the release of him immediately. They're saying this could be a diplomatic incident. This could spark British troops and all sorts. So that it's as if they're using this as more of a scapegoat. Keir Starmer, I don't know how so many British people, probably a lot of people watching me talk right now, voted him in. I just cannot even fathom it. The stuff that he's now doing. I talked on the last video about everything. Check that out. But now saying that whatever it takes, British troops, if that's what's needed. And then with the interview, well, what if there's nuclear weapons? Well, it's up to Putin. He's the one that needs to de escalate. We are just, we are not involved in this conflict. Well, you kind of are. You're sending these long range weapons. Yes, but that's not us. We're not really involved in that. We're just giving them to Ukraine, and Ukraine's using them. But how can they use these weapons without British oversight? Don't they need your technology and everything else? Oh, well, I couldn't comment on that. Obviously, he knows all of this stuff, right? So right now we've got the French Foreign Legion fighting in Ukraine, for Ukraine against Russia. There are various US and European mercenary groups, loads of them fighting right now, all getting very good pay, by the way, good funding. Long range weapons being launched in both directions. We just saw the intercontinental ballistic missile. Wow, that. I mean, personally, I don't know about you, but I got the warning when I saw that raining down. I got it. Okay, and now they're saying that this was an unprovoked attack on Ukraine with an intercontinental ballistic missile. I don't know how people can keep hearing that. This was unprovoked. This was unprovoked. And say, wow, this is all unprovoked, all these things. And now the UK is being told that there's all these cyber warfare threats against them. So the Prime Minister's come out and said, this is absolutely outrageous. Russia's now targeting us for no reason. We haven't done anything. We're not even involved in anything. And we're being targeted by... It's like... And I've said this to people and they say, what do you mean? What do you mean, Neil? That what? Are you trying to say that we're somehow involved in this? I'm like, well, what do you think? What do you think? People are like, well, no, we're not. No, nothing to do with us. This is we're being bullied here by Putin and all this. It's like, wow, stop watching so much BBC News, please. What else? Oh yeah, okay. And someone, other people keep talking about all these emissions, and which was one of the topics for the last video, all these emissions. Do you realize every time someone leaves a comment and says we should support our leaders with what they're saying about these emissions or whoever, these people are not following any of their it's do as I say, not as I do. They fly in their private jets and then talk about how you need to be carbon taxed, green taxed on your airline flight, and that's why it's astronomical now. But yet they will never fly in an economy seat and have to pay these high taxes when a pipeline's blown up and all the big black plumes are going up into the sky. They don't care. They don't say anything. When all these bombs are being dropped everywhere, what about carbon emissions from these bombs? No, they never talk about any of this stuff. It's hypocrisy, and people stand there and they start cheering for it all as if they don't really have a clue. But this was the other video from earlier if you want to watch it. This is all about the climate lockdowns. Okay, so that's that. So we got a lot of articles to go through. Just a reminder, this is Black Friday week. This is only running this week, so you can get into the academy at a very, very low price. Here's it here. And that will also include the new courses coming out in 2025. So these are the courses that you can get in on. Okay, and the link's below in the description on that. So a couple of things then, two major things I'd say. So yesterday, France backed long-range missiles alongside the UK and, of course, America. So this is one story that came out yesterday. But this is the big one, I'd say, that's come out in the last couple of hours here. Discussions over sending European troops to Ukraine have been reignited. And of course, this is Macron. He is obsessed with getting European troops on the ground. So this is what they're saying. Paris and London, so Macron and Starmer, of course, are not ruling out leading a military coalition in Ukraine. So they want to get boots on the ground. They've wanted to for a long time now. As the conflict in Ukraine enters a new phase of escalation, discussions over sending Western troops and private defense companies, well, these are already there, by the way. The private defense companies are already there, has been revived. However, it was relaunched in recent weeks thanks to the visit of the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer for the 11th commemoration. So again, we need to get rid of this guy. We need to vote this guy out. We need to get him out of power because he's causing all of these problems. UK Army Chief, we're ready now to go to Eastern Europe. Look at this. We are ready. We would fight tonight if asked. We are ready. Well, they keep saying they keep flipping on this. So before they said, these generals said we couldn't fight our way out of a paper bag at the moment. We've got nothing. We've got no troops. We've got no equipment. We really couldn't do very much at all. And now, and they're doing this defense review, by the way, and getting rid of a load of even more stuff. So now they're coming out and they're saying, oh yes, we can do this tomorrow. If we're called upon right now, we'll be there tomorrow. It's like, really? I think not. It's madness. They're trying to get people ready for the next phase. And what are these phases that we've talked about a lot? I'm not going to go through them all because if you've been watching here for the last a few years, I've talked about every single phase, and every single phase has now been hit apart from the last phase, and that is troops on the ground, which means equipment on the ground as well. That is pretty much it. That's it. That's where you go now. There is nowhere else to go. That is the final phase now. It's NATO countries getting involved in a full-scale war. Russia, Iran, North Korea, China. This is no small game. This is really serious business now. It really is. So this is what I saw today, which made me very happy. Elon Musk is backing this call for a general election. You want to see how many people have signed this petition now. Please sign this petition as well. It is up to 2,380,224, and it just keeps going up. Look at this. They only needed 100,000, and it just keeps going up. Now, do you think that this will actually take place? Well, during COVID, when there was a petition to check the vax, they wanted a safety review before it was mass produced. It actually reached a lot of signatures, and it wasn't. It wasn't discussed, which I don't even know how they can do that. I think they said it was emergency powers that they could override the petition. So what's the point of a petition if you're not going to do it? But look at this. This is going crazy. Definitely sign this petition, because I think this is going to go over 3 million at this rate. It will be one of the most signed petitions that I've ever seen. It's madness. I mean, look at this. This is by petition map here, because we need to get rid of this guy. We need to get Keir Starmer out. We need to vote him out and get someone else in. I mean, who exactly? I mean, Conservatives are they didn't do a good job either. You've got Farage as well. There's a few options, but we need to get this guy out no matter what. He is just bad news. He's going to walk us into a war. So what happened today then? Well, Ukraine has now gone after Russia again with the ATACMS, but this time it's the cluster variety. Now, what does this mean? Well, pretty serious business. I did have this highlighted, but I think the article's just refreshed. But this is serious weaponry that's just gone off, and I just can't believe that this is going on. Where's this? Okay, and this was the experimental strike of Russia as well on Ukraine. They said it was unprovoked initially. They said we don't. It was so weird reading this CNN article saying they didn't know why Putin would escalate like this, firing this missile and everything. Was that obvious? Whether you're pro or against, whichever side you sit on, right? It's obvious why he fired this. He said he was going to fire it if we kept, if we sent long range weapons, and now he's done it. I'm just amazed by all of this. This can reach speeds of Mach 11, carry 6, or this one carried 6 non-nuclear warheads, each releasing 6 submunitions, but it can carry nuclear warheads as well. Mach 11, 13,600 kilometers per hour. Good luck intercepting that. Seriously. And this was also out of 9 News the other day.
Now opening the door for a nuclear response if attacked.
Despite what Russia says, neither the United States nor NATO pose any threat to Russia.
What? Sorry, did you hear that? The US and NATO poses no threat to Russia. Okay, I'm sure that's how they see it.
Brits prepare for nuclear war.
There's irresponsible rhetoric coming from Russia. And that is...
We need to vote this guy out. Seriously.
An accusation from Russia's ambassador to the UK.
Britain and UK is now directly involved in this war because this fighting cannot happen without without NATO staff, British staff as well.
But you are using Chinese dual-use technology. You're using Iranian missiles. You're using Iranian drones. You're using North Korean troops. So are you saying all those countries are now directly involved too?
On that subject, I can say easily that...
Yeah, I mean, you see where this is going. They consider... But he's right. He's right there, what he was just saying. Everyone's involved now. All these countries are involved. North Korea, China, Iran, everyone's involved. He's right in what... They're both right in what they're saying here. And this came out as well. US and European officials discussed giving Ukraine nuclear weapons. Who thinks that's a good idea? Whatever, and again, I'm not saying anything against Ukraine using weapons here. I mean, if you're in that position, you're going to use whatever you're given, right? This is just how it goes in warfare. So imagine the US and Europe gives nuclear weapons to Ukraine in order to say, look, we've got nuclear weapons now, Russia, so you better back off. That's not going to happen. Whatever you give them, they will use in their defense/attack. That is what's going to happen. As soon as they were given the green light on the long range ATACMS, Storm Shadow, they used them. They use them pretty much the next day. So whatever is given, I mean, this is how stupid some of these leaders are, that we could, just before we're supposed to have these peace discussions coming in and a peace plan, they, just for what seems to be profit is how it seems to be, because the amount of money. I remember the videos I looked at the different politicians who are invested in these defense stocks. They are making millions, tens of millions, some of them even more than that. They're making an absolute fortune out of this war. Just huge amounts of money here. And even Ukraine's top general, or ex-top general, said the same thing. Hold on, is that Alex Jones in disguise there? He's, he said the same thing. He said World War III has already begun, and you can hear about that article. But I saw this as well. So this is what they said. This is how quickly they could hit European sites. But here's another one of just how quickly Russia could be targeted as well. And that's what I keep saying. There's no winners in this conflict. If you've seen this video, it goes on. So this is what they say, nuclear weapons or missile strikes on Russia. Okay, this just goes on and on and on. This is what would happen instantly, is what they say. NATO's response. Instantly, they would pretty much eliminate Russia. I mean, this is insanity, what is being discussed now, all of this stuff. Why do they not want peace? It's all about money. This is what it's all about. It's all about money. And even now, the US commanders are coming out and saying, we are going to land ourselves in trouble if we have any conflict with China, because we're giving away some of our best weaponry to this conflict. Here was the cyber warfare threat to the UK. We've had drones over US air bases in the UK. I mean, all this stuff is just, it's non-stop. It just keeps going on and on and on. I don't know how you feel about this, but drop in the chat here, and we'll have another chat in a second. But if you just go down to the description, this is where you can find all the links for the programs, by the way. It's really easy. You can do it monthly payment, or you can use the coupon. You just type in coupon code SAVE, and then it will put it in. So it's simple as that for the courses, and then you can just add whatever you want in. Okay, but I just want to talk. I don't know. I want to see your comments on this. I really do. I'll be reading your comments at just how crazy this is. They want to now send troops on the ground. This is as soon as you put troops on the ground, because think about it, it's not going to be a small contingent. Oh, we'll just send 1,000 troops. No, you won't, because as soon as those 1,000 troops are wiped out, probably with a tactical nuke in one shot, then you say, oh look, they just wiped out our troops. Then you send everybody. This is pretty much the last escalation now. It's very scary. I mean, seriously, I'm thinking of just going to Thailand a little earlier this year. I was gonna wait a little bit, but I'm actually thinking of just going a little bit earlier. This is how crazy all of this is. I just don't want to take any risks at the minute with all this stuff that they're talking about, and mobilizations and Operation Mobilize. If you don't know about that, read into it. This is madness, ladies and gents. Let me know your thoughts. But there are solutions. There's different visas that you can get, by the way, super cheap. I've talked about them before. Even ones like Thailand. If you take my cash flow course, you can get it will show you how you can actually get a visa for Thailand if you have a digital presence, digital business. About £250, £300. It's quite low cost, actually. But yeah, just either way, just think this through. Think through what you're going to do if this escalates, because this is the way it's going. It is going towards escalation, and it's not good. All right. See you tomorrow, guys. Take care. God bless.